Man, what a weekend of fixtures as it was Derby Sunday in England. Don't forget Chelsea versus Fulham, still a derby. We'll get to all of that as well as the top matches and stories from Europe's top 4 leagues. And we might throw in a bonus league as well. You'll have to wait and see. It's Rabona TV's Weekend Recap and I'm Adrian. How are you? Are you good? Decent weekend. And as per usual, the Weekend Recap is made possible thanks to our sponsor, OneFootball, the great people there. The best app to keep you up to the minute on everything football. Customize your news feed to your liking, watch highlights, latest goals, live match tickers, and so much more. So if you're interested in this free app, then go ahead and use the link in the description for a download on iOS or Android. All right, let's kick things off once again in the Bundesliga. We started there last week and it felt nice, so why change a good thing, right? Bayern Munich likely brimming with confidence after smashing the European colossi that are SL Benfica. Went away to a slumping Werder Bremen and, well, didn't really smash them on the score sheet as it was 2-1, but were deserving winners in my opinion. What sort of acted as a metaphor for how poor Bayern's defense has been this season was Jerome Boateng getting beaten in the air by Japan's Yuya Osako. Remember him from the World Cup? That means that Bayern haven't had a clean sheet in the Bundesliga since September 22nd. 9 straight matches without one. Thankfully for Bayern, however, the former Werder boy, Serge Gnabry, finished off his brace in the 50th minute in what was a strong second half for Bayern. Bit of a shit goal, not sure he knew much about it, but he won't care, nor will Bayern. 2-1 win and signs of improvement in the second half. Also, Arjen Robben announced that he would be moving on from Bayern at the end of the season, and everybody knows that he's just scared of Canadian phenom Alphonso Davies, despite them playing on opposite wings most of the time. Davies can play on the right once in a while. In fact, for all of you guys that are unfamiliar with the next big star for Bayern Munich, the next big Canadian star, why don't I do a video on him? Get you a little more acquainted with the guy. Elsewhere, the second place team, going into the weekend at least, Borussia Mönchengladbach were handed a big test up against the surging RB Leipzig. And it was the hosts, Leipzig, who got a tidy 2-0 win in this one. Timo Werner grabbed a brace, meaning that he has scored against Gladbach in 4 of his previous 5 matches against them. What a curse. And finally, Borussia Dortmund kept their unbeaten start to the season alive as they hosted Freiburg. And who scored for them? I'll give you one guess. Go on, hit me. Yeah, it was Paco Alcacer, and yeah, he was a sub, and yeah, as a sub, he is tied for first in the scoring standings, 10 goals in 8 Bundesliga matches, absolute mad lad. As is Lucien Favre, by the way, who is the first ever Dortmund manager to go unbeaten in his first 13 Bundesliga matches. Dortmund stretched their lead at the top to 7 points above Gladbach, while Bayern re-entered the top 4, and Leipzig is in 3rd. All right, let's look at La Liga now as Real Madrid looked to bounce back from their pitiful effort against Eibar last weekend, and they had to try to do so against Valencia, a side that is neither good nor bad. They are basically the footballing equivalent of a massive meh, though you could argue that they lean a little to the crap side of things. But anyways, lengthy trash illusion aside, Real Madrid did just fine in this one. They had a bit of help from Daniel Vaz in the 8th minute as he headed past his own keeper cleanly, but as cleanly as you can against your own keeper, but Madrid played with great intensity in the first half and looked pretty good. Some dangerous moments from Valencia in the second, but their finishing was way off. And they paid for it in the end, as Lucas Vazquez scored in the second match running for him with an assist from Benzema in the second match running. He's having a fantastic season, by the way, it's got to be said, and everyone knows that I've been a harsh critic of Benzema, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Is his finishing great? No, it's still an issue, in my opinion. But as far as bringing his teammates into the match, he's been one of the better players at Real this season. 2-0 win for Real, that's better, but not good enough to get them any higher than 5th place this weekend, and I don't think it really provides us any answers, really, in regards to whether Solari is that guy or not. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'm willing to see where it goes. I mean, obviously I'm willing to see where it goes. I'm not a Real Madrid fan. There's no hurry for me. Oh my god, what is in my eye? Oh my god. I think we're good. Okay, Barcelona hosted Villarreal, a team that's really struggling, just like my eyeball, this season as they're barely afloat above the relegation zone. Despite that, Moreno nearly put them ahead in the 12th minute when he smashed the woodwork. A chance not taken, and when you're against Barca, that's a problem, as Gerard Piqué's bullet header from Dembele's cross 20 minutes later put the hosts ahead. How? Like, what is happening to me? I can't speak, I can't see, like, ugh. God, 1 second here, people. Sorry about that. Anyways, how good has Dembele been lately? He's been involved in, I think, a goal in his last 3 matches in a row now. In the second half, Messi set up Carles Aleñá as the 20-year-old scored his first La Liga goal to make things comfy cozy for Barca with the 2-0 win. So with Real and Barca both winning and with Atletico only managing a draw against Girona, it fell to Sevilla to retain their place at the top of the table against Deportivo Alavés, a team that has taken scalps from the likes of Real Madrid so far this season, and we're only 3 points behind Sevilla going into this one. Well, after finding themselves a goal down away to Alavés, Sevilla managed to get an equalizer through Wissam Ben Yedder, meaning that Barcelona are back on top, Sevilla just 1 point behind them, and Atletico in third, just 1 point ahead of Alavés. It's tight in Spain, my man. All right, in the Prem, it was a weekend devoted to derbies, but before we got to Sunday, there were some other matches to take in, like United taking on Southampton. United found themselves 2-0 down in the first 20 minutes thanks to an absolute stonker by Cedric and a super well-taken goal from Armstrong, scored in the opposite order of which I just said them though. I know some people will be tip-tapping away in the comment section saying, hey, they were scored in the opposite order, idiot. I know they were. I just decided to say them in that order. Anyways, YouTube annoyances aside, of course, Lukaku was able to score in this one as he was playing against a team outside of the top 6. Even better for him if they're in the bottom half of the table. His first goal in 12 appearances. Ander Herrera equalized in the 39th, setting up an epic second half, right? Well, not really. In fact, my highlight from the second half was this move from Lukaku. We all know that his first touch is lethal. And on this occasion, it was a danger to himself as he failed to control the ball and gave himself a little bit of an ouchie. So, United draw against one of the worst teams in the league as they have won twice in their last 6 matches, that's United I'm talking about, have kept a clean sheet on just 2 occasions this season in the Prem, compared to last season, that's crazy, and are now putting up with reports of Mourinho drilling Pogba in the dressing room, not like that, and labeling him as a virus. Yikes. Across town, Man City and Bernardo Silva's Have a Nice celebration is about the perfect representation of the differing fortunes of overall vibes, I should say, of the 2 Manchester clubs at the moment. Of course, City handed Bournemouth their 4th loss in a row, 3-1, as they've had a fairly tough run of fixtures, free-falling a little bit, much like another team in the Premier League that had so much promise, Wolves. Wolverhampton went away to Cardiff and couldn't manage a win against their fellow promotees, losing 2-1 despite scoring first, and I say that because prior to this match, when Wolves had scored first, they hadn't lost a single match in the league for 44 straight matches. They'll turn it around though. This is a blip, I feel like. Now, let's move on to Sunday, where the first derby of the day was Chelsea versus Fulham. First off, there was a short man to short man connection with Kante setting up Pedro in the 4th minute, mega early, but Chelsea couldn't grab another against a fairly meh, but improved for sure Fulham side until the 82nd minute when an economical Ruben Loftus-Cheek showed Morata how to be an effective sub, as he scored his 5th goal in his last 6 appearances. Morata simply picked up another yellow card, was dispossessed twice, etc. Not great. Something's really wrong with that dude. Then we had the North London derby, and this was a proper derby match, man. After Arsenal took an early lead via an Aubameyang penalty, Tottenham clawed them back and then some, with Eric Dyer nudging the ball past Bernd Leno's near post. 5 minutes later, and a penalty was awarded to Tottenham, which Kane duly converted. 2-1 Spurs, because longtime viewers of this channel, by long time I mean at least 1 week, regardless, they'll remember that Arsenal are one of the only teams that haven't gotten to halftime with the lead. Well, given Arsenal's record, I think that just speaks volumes to what Unai Emery has done to change the mentality and the grit of this team. Next, he'll tackle the slow starts. In the second half, it was all Arsenal, besides a decent strike by Song following a Bellerin giveaway, of course. But besides that, Arsenal smashed Spurs in the second half, starting with Aubameyang leveling things. The craziest thing about him scoring was that was his 10th of the season, and that he scored 10 with 10 consecutive shots on target in the Premier League. Crazy. Then, Lacazette put Arsenal ahead with a strike that just touched off of Dyer on the way in. Then, the man who deserves a goal more than any other Arsenal player this season, Lucas Torreira, went ahead and made it 4-2, just 3 minutes after Arsenal had taken the lead. 4-2 Arsenal, Tottenham's 3 wins on the trot comes to an end, while Arsenal continue their ridiculous unbeaten run of 19 matches. It continues as they are now just 1 point behind Chelsea in 4th place. And then there was the Merseyside Derby. Shout out to you if you watched my video on that prior to taking in the match. And while the Merseyside Derby wasn't as entertaining as the London Derby, the North London Derby I should say, it had probably the most epic conclusion ever. And I mean epic in the internet meme kind of way. To start, Everton nearly took the lead in the first half when Alisson made a ridiculous reaction save on Andre Gomes. Well, more like a, oh shit, I'll make myself big and hope for the best type of save, but a great save nonetheless, which was matched only by Joe Gomez, who managed to hook the dribbling ball off of the line to ensure that Everton were level on 0 goals. Then you fast forward to the second half stoppage time and it's still 0-0 despite Liverpool largely dictating the play, but Everton handling them fairly comfortably. In the 96th minute, Virgil van Dijk skied the ball to oblivion, and as it came down from orbit, it looked like it would just tap off of the crossbar and go out for a goal kick, thus giving us a 0-0 match. However, Jordan Pickford decided to get involved, and his touch of the ball fell kindly to Divock Origi to nod it home into an empty goal and give Liverpool the win. Terrible goal, and this headline from Pickford makes it all the more hilarious. Damn man, you really gotta avoid speaking like that. Granted, he was talking about when the ball was at his feet, but when you face that up with Alisson's solid performance and the fact that Pickford did not need to do what he did, taking that stupid risk, oof, doesn't age well. All right, so Everton don't drop down a place, but the little team that could, some team called Manchester United, has leveled on points with them, 8 points outside of 5th place. Wow. While Liverpool keeps the pressure on City as they are now just 2 points behind them and still unbeaten. Let's hope it stays that way. Not because I like Liverpool or anything like that. Again, I'm a Benfica fan, but just so City don't run away with the league so that they still have at least a challenge when around April, May comes. No, that would be nice, right? And finally, moving on quickly, there's no Bundesliga this week, apologies. We have the Serie A, where the match of the weekend was Roma taking on Inter, and this was a great one. First off, I thought that Roma had a penalty shout in the first half, but apparently the VAR dude disagreed with me because the ref didn't even go and take a look at it. Weird. Then, of course, Inter went the other way, and Keita Balde finished off a slick Inter attack with his 3rd goal in 2 Serie A matches running. In the second half, Under scored a screamer to bring things level, but Mauro Icardi put the visitors ahead once again from some super lax defending by Roma. On what planet do you allow Icardi to have a relatively free header? Relatively free. But after that, less than 10 minutes later, Brozovic lifted his elbow to stop a cross, and a penalty was given this time, which Kolarov smashed home, as he's wont to do. 2-2 final, and a pretty damn entertaining match, I gotta say. Elsewhere, AC Milan got a 2-1 win over Parma, which took Milan past Lazio into a top 4 position. As of publishing, Napoli hadn't played their match against Atalanta, as that's going down today on the Monday, while Juve went to Florence to try to nab 3 points versus Fiorentina, and of course, they did exactly that with a 3-0 win. Despite the large gulf in the scoreline, Fiorentina didn't go down without a fight in this one, and perhaps with some better quality and a bit of luck when it came to finishing, could have made this an even harder match for Juventus, who, in my opinion, are the best team in Europe right now. Their only blip being that Manchester United loss, which was crazy if you actually watch that match. Bentancur put the Bianconeri in front after half an hour, with Chiellini scoring a totally whack goal that hit off of the keeper, looped high, was missed by both Ronaldo and the defenders, bounced, and the spin of the ball took it in. And finally, Ronaldo rounded things off by converting a penalty emphatically, meaning that he is the first Juve player to score 10 goals after 14 matches since John Charles back in the 1957-58 season. Incredible, man. This dude is 33 and he doesn't look a day older than 25 with the way he's moving out there, not to mention the way he's playing. No tail off in form from him. And man, Juve are looking good. Can you think of a better team in Europe right now? Like, I would say City if you took their Premier League form and applied that to their form in Europe, but I mean, City struggles in Europe. Who else is out there? Barcelona, Real Madrid, no. Bayern Munich, no. Borussia Dortmund, maybe, but I still feel like if they're faced up against a team like Juventus, they'd get smashed. Maybe not smashed, sorry. Smashed is the wrong word, but I don't think that they would win, that's for sure. I think that they'd still end up losing. But anyways, guys, that about wraps up this episode of the weekend recap. Again, I'm sorry about no bonus league. I'm extremely busy. I gotta go do some freelance voiceover work right now. I gotta make that money, you know? I gotta pay the bills. So if you enjoyed it, then I'm just glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for all of the support lately. It really, really means a lot to me. We just passed 40,000 subscribers, which is great, making our way on to 50,000. Hopefully we'll get there before I quit YouTube. I'm not quitting anytime soon. I have a hard time in believing in myself sometimes. But anyways, thanks again, you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos as you do with all the other videos. And if you're new around here, then hey, I'm Adrian, and thanks for watching. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Maybe we'll do a watch along this week, by the way. United versus Arsenal could be good. Could be some drama. What's going on between Mourinho and Pogba again? If anything, unless it's fabrications, I don't know. And will Arsenal smash United at Old Trafford? Could that mean the end of Jose Mourinho at United? I doubt it, because he's going for that sack money. But anyways, this is the longest, most drawn out goodbye of all time. And I'll probably see you for a watch along of United versus Arsenal, because we haven't done a watch along in ages. Okay? Love ya. Peace.